So tell me a bit about your background, your training. How long ago did you get into this holistic approach, and what did you do to explore? Because it sounds like this is actually something you created, these protocols.
Yeah. I started with YouTube University, just like everyone else probably, because I had my own health issues going back to being about 28 years old and just trying to figure it out and finding gurus on YouTube and just figuring it all out. That motivated me to go get a certificate. So I ended up going to Florida to study detoxification, and then I enrolled into a health coaching school, and that's really where it started. Then a few years later, I just realized that people weren't taking me serious enough, and being an ambitious guy, I was like, let me just get a doctorate. And I just started researching on how I could do that. I had a bachelor's degree. How can I do it? Mm. And how can I do it without going and getting a master's? Mm-hmm. So I had to do a lot of research and find loopholes and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I finally found a school that would take a 34-year-old, and I did it. It was hard.
So you're in school, or you've gone through your detox phase.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've gotten all your worms out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah.
So now you go into your doctorate program.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you're out of your doctorate program, what's the journey for you from there to...
I got burnt out. I had to stop. And I was going through a very, very deep, we'll call it a spiritual journey. I was just so deep in that realm, and I was working on myself. And I was also facing some health issues. I was trying to figure out what the problem was. That's when I discovered postural therapy, and that changed everything. It was like the missing link. And once I started learning that, and then again, I fixed my own issues, I was just so remotivated, because now I can work with bulging discs and herniated discs and frozen shoulder and hip pain and neck pain and bunions and flat feet. Now my whole world expanded, and this is where the head to toe healing comes from, is just having that realization. And so that's when I was like, I want to come back out. It's like I came out of retirement type thing. I pulled a Michael Jordan. I stopped. I stopped for like 2 years and recalibrated.
Yeah.
And then came back with a very, very strategic plan, and it worked.
Yeah. I mean, you've mentioned your health issues a couple times, and I want to dive into those a little bit more if you're willing to.
Sure.
What health issues were you facing at the time?
At that time, it was costochondritis. It was my calves clenched up. I couldn't drive for, I want to say 3 months.
Really?
Right.
Because the muscles were so tense.
Yeah, it was dangerous to drive.
Oh my goodness.
So my mom had to drive me around.
So what was the root cause? Because I know you're big.
It was my posture. It was from being what I call a computer athlete.
Yeah.
Sitting at a computer for 25 years, clanging and banging away. And I still am, by the way. And it just got out of control. I was also a meditator. So I'd sit down on a cushion, cross-legged, and I'd sit there and I'd hunch over, and it's just all caught up to me. It all caught up to me. And I was, see, the story is so layered. I was gone. I got accepted to a Zen monastery. I was out.
Oh, which one?
The one in New York in the mountains.
Yeah.
I was out.
So you went there?
I never made it.
Oh.
I never made it.
Because of these health conditions?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
I had a ticket for my bus. I was accepted. I gave my deposit. I was gone, and I was going under the assumption that there's a chance I might not come back.
Yeah.
Because all I wanted was this spirituality thing. All I wanted was this present moment. That's all I wanted. It's really all I wanted. Yeah, I was gone. And my health started messing up. And that's when I was like, I can't get on a bus and go to a Zen monastery. I got to fix my body here. And it was like divinity, like, you can't go, you have to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I'm gonna send you to hell for a little bit. Yeah, I went through what's called Dark Night of the Soul.
For people that don't know, can you tell everyone what that is?
It's basically like you're dying.
Mm-hmm. I'd say that's accurate.
You have to face your mortality,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to face fear eye to eye. And you cry a lot. It's uncontrollable crying. It's uncontrollable because everything that's stored in you is just coming up, and it's all coming up at one time over the course of weeks and weeks. And for me, it was 7 months.
Mm.
It was 7 months. It was a long 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to just accept my death. I had to accept the death of my parents. I had to accept that we're not in control. And I had to go through this hell that became like heaven.
Mm-hmm. When you say your death, I mean, I'm assuming you mean from a spiritual perspective, like dying.
I thought I was going to die.
Your old self.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I was going to die.
Yeah. And then from that, this new self emerged.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes sense, because I was working on myself for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you're on a rope and you're trying to cross a small stream or a river, and you're rocking back and forth on the rope, and the more you rock, the more you get momentum to launch yourself to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're doing mindfulness training and you're working on yourself, you gain momentum. But before you can jump to the other side, you got to go through hell.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so that's what happened to me. That's absolutely what happened. It was horrifying. Yeah.
And from that, though, Kevin, it seems like what emerged was this new clinic and where you are today.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, I didn't plan any of it. I mean, I sat down and planned it, but it wasn't in my plans until it became in my plans. I was gone. Mm-hmm. I was out. Mm-hmm. I was going to become known as the guy who was a radio personality, who switched to health and did it for like 8 years and then just disappeared. But a lot happened from 2018 to 2022. Just those 4 years were just madness. And in those moments when I decided to come back out as Dr. Reese, I knew that this was going to happen, and I had to look at myself in the mirror and look myself in the eye and say, are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. If you jump out there, you're going to become famous, and you're going to become notorious, and you're going to become something in the health field very big and very powerful, and it's going to be split. Mm-hmm. Are you ready, essentially, to die for this? Mm. And the answer was yes.
It's powerful, Kevin.
So I went through with it. So I'm here to die, basically. And I'm okay with it.
Not literally.
Not literally. I don't care.
Let's not tempt people.
Jumpstart your head-to-toe healing journey with the Dr. Reese book trilogy. Peace Over Pain is the cult classic that explains how head-to-toe healing works and how the medical monopoly doesn't. Reverse the Cause lays out the root causes to over 60 chronic conditions. And Dinner with Dr. Reese is a unique cookbook that contains 100 recipes without the destructive pour for foods. Together, all 3 books set you on a path to head-to-toe healing. Get yours today on Amazon, Audible, or peaceoverpain.com. Also, if you'd like to ask a question, tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for Dr. Reese Live.